I gave people all the stuff they really needed. Social Security checks, utility bills, TV guide.
I want a TV guidance counselor. TV guidance counselor. Staying up to watch all night, and everything's gonna be alright with my TV guidance counselor.
Hello and welcome to TV Guidance Counselor. As always, I am Ken Reed, your TV Guidance Counselor. Did you hear me put my hand in my pocket there? And I have dog poop bags in there. It sounded like candy. I should have just said it was candy because Halloween's next week, but I like to be completely transparent with you, the listener. Welcome to the show. If you are listening for the first time because of my guest, welcome. I think you'll enjoy this show. This is the show where each and every week since February 14th, 2014, Boston stand-up comedian Ken Reed here has welcomed an interesting person to talk about the television we grew up with, their experiences with those things, using an issue of TV Guide magazine from my personal collection as the inspiration for our conversation. And this week is a very fascinating episode. This guy is so funny and quick and smart. Fabrizio Copano. He is a Chilean stand-up comedian, but he does stuff in America. He lives in America now. Does stuff in English and in Spanish, which blows my mind. I barely can do comedy in English. I can't imagine learning an entirely different language and then doing it there. But anyway, super nice guy. Very, very interesting. So quick. That was the thing that very much impressed me. And I always like having people who are not American or didn't grow up in America on the show, because I get to hear all about what it was like, what TV they had in their country growing up, what American stuff they got. And I haven't really had almost anyone, I don't think anyone from South America, let alone the furthest southern tip of South America. And I know I have some listeners down there, not a ton, but some listeners. So some of this stuff might be familiar to you or not. But hey, that's how we are. If you have any other guests you would like me to try to get on the show, international or otherwise, please email me at ken@icanread.com or at tvguidancecounselor@gmail.com or on social media, or you can be a patron, $1 a month. You can go to the Patreon, patreon.com/TV Guidance Counselor, and you can talk to me there. If you have $5 or more a month, you would have gotten a scanned copy in a PDF format of this issue of TV Guide that we look at here with the Ninja Turtles on the cover. But you don't need the TV Guide. It's just a little extra thing to follow along with. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of TV Guidance Counselor with my guest, Fabrizio Copano.
TV is my friend, and it has been always there for me in time of need.
Live via satellite from, I think, as far south in South America as you can go. Fabrizio, how are you?
I'm good. Yes, I think this is like the end. There's nothing after this.
There's nothing. It's just a cliff.
I mean, if you think the Earth is flat, if you're a flat earther, I'm at the tip of the mountain. You know, I'm like just looking through the emptiness of the galaxy right now.
I'm doing that emotionally, but you know, that's how we're at in this day and age. So you grew up in, is that the part of Chile you grew up in?
No. I grew up in Santiago, but my mom moved here a couple of years ago. So I'm here to visit her.
Gotcha. Is that like a more rural area?
It's very rural, and actually, yeah, the TV signal is the same from 1985, so have a lot to do with this show. I'm getting the same shows that we're gonna visit in this TV Guide episode.
It's like all the A-Team, but it's a brand new show.
Exactly.
So you picked an issue here from 91. So this is March 16th to the 22nd, 1991. I'm guessing this one appealed to you because of the Ninja Turtles on the cover?
I mean, not only because of the Ninja Turtles, it's because of the sexual innuendo that's going on with the Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
And this woman. I mean, the whole thing is kind of like sexual and turtles, and it's pretty strange.
Yeah, so for the listener, it's the I guess realistic turtle suits from the movies, the Jim Henson suits, and it's all four turtles, and they're surrounding Barbara Walters, who was a very famous television interviewer here, and they're kind of, it's not overtly sexual with the three of them, although one has their head on their shoulder. But the thing that really puts it over the top is the tagline says, "Cartoons grow up. They're not just kid stuff anymore."
Yeah, no, and she's wearing a like an outfit like she was in Ice White Shot, you know, like she was part of those parties. Feels like feels like this is the aftermath of what happened in an orgy, you know, like this is just like them after. Let's take a picture to remember what happened.
They're rehydrating. They're bringing new meaning to coming out of your shells. It makes sense.
It makes sense. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like those outfits are the best turtles we ever had. We should go back to those turtles. We don't need the 3D ones.
Yeah. Do you know Michael Ian Black, the comedian?
Of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So one of his first jobs after college was playing one of the Ninja Turtles in a
Oh.
touring group that promoted the Ninja Turtles musical tour.
We have to dance inside of this outfit.
Yeah, yep. So he's been in one of the outfits. I think he was Michelangelo. I forget which one he was.
I love the names also. It's such a great invention, the Ninja Turtles. And they're not just for kids anymore.
No, you can talk turkey with the turtles. Were they huge? I imagine, were they huge in Chile when you were growing
Oh
up?
yeah, yeah. I think they're huge everywhere. I don't think I think I mean I remember like they were kind of like branded as violent.
Yeah.
It was like the Ninja Turtles for is for kids, but it's like be careful, you know, like it's it can brainwash your brain, and you can end up being a ninja, and that was very worrisome.
Or a turtle, which is
This
worse.
is way worse. I remember that. I remember what.
Damn kids and turtle. So in the UK, they were called Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles because you couldn't even use the word ninja there. It was considered too violent.
Really? Like, I mean, England
Yep.
about being too violent? Like, what about
England.
everything that happened during history? Like, you guys don't
All the
remember what you guys
things.
did? You think ninja is like the worst thing?
It might have been too violent or too ethnic. Either way, offensive.
I mean,
You're growing
I
up in
didn't-
England in the 90s.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. This is good information that you're giving me, my friend.
This will be very useful to you at some point.
I can use this in any of my parties as a way to connect with I don't know who, but I feel I'm gonna use this information at some point. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna use this information at some point.
So when you were growing up, like South America, especially like Brazil and I think Chile, there's like a large Japanese population, right?
I mean, they're mostly in Peru. It's pretty crazy because Peru have a lot of Japanese, and actually they had like a half Japanese president that became a dictator at some point. A guy called Fujimori. And yeah, this is all true. This is all true, and it was so funny because, of course, over there, people didn't know or didn't care, and at the time, no one cares. Like the difference between Japanese and Chinese and all the different Asian cultures.
Oh yeah, people can't tell. They're like, yeah, same
He
thing.
called himself El Chino, like the Chinese man. He decided to like branded himself when he was running as a congressman. Like, you know what? I'm Chinese, you know, whatever. Just call me El Chino.
Even I can't tell the difference. I don't care.
And he had like a dance. I remember like there was videos of him dancing with like vota por el Chino, like vote for the Chinese man, and he was just dancing like, yeah. I think they didn't care about the ninja part of the Ninja Turtles in Peru at all.
Because I was wondering, like, when you were growing up, obviously there were probably local kids stuff and cartoons, South American kids cartoons, but did you also get a bunch of Japanese cartoons and Japanese content? Because I know people who grew up in, like, Hawaii would get a ton of Japanese stuff that we didn't get in the rest of the States.
I mean, Dragon Ball was huge. Everything that was from that same era, Slam Dunk, Ranma, yeah, all those shows. I think I don't know if they have to do with like we're connected to the because of the Pacific Ocean, or they were very cheap. Because I remember like they put them in like
Both.
they yeah, probably both. They switch stations every year because it was like, oh, this is like so easy to buy and looks like I don't know, you can buy reruns and just they don't even buy the entire seasons of the show. Like they just buy like 10 episodes and run them back to back forever. it was like there was no respect for the audience at all, and people didn't care. Like people just loved Dragon Ball, and well, I think Dragon Ball was one, and The Simpsons was another one that is huge, still huge in Latin America. It was so massive in Chile.
See, that one's very interesting to me because, and the Simpsons are on the cover here too. One of the big articles in this TV guide is about the the sort of boom of primetime animation that's not just for kids. So they're talking about the Simpsons, and then there were a bunch of other shows in the wake of the Simpsons here that tried to sort of recapture that magic, but did not succeed. But generally, comedy does not travel well outside of its home country. Like the especially something like The Simpsons, which is so, you would think, which has so many like pop culture references and like very specific cultural things. It surprises me that travels so well.
Well, I think in that case specifically, I think two things happen. One is that the Simpsons are about a family, so that make it universal in a way. But second, the people who translate the episodes, they did an amazing job. Like that group of they're from Mexico that did the voices of Homer and all. I think in some cases are better. There's some better jokes than the U.S. ones. Like they just rewrite some jokes, but because so they didn't understand one thing or two, and they just like, okay, let's just say another funny thing, and they're really really good. Like they really have amazing ideas, and I think that's the reason why the show in South America specifically was so massive. You still can see like in streets, like you can walk like a dangerous street, and you can see the face of Bart on a wall. Uh, it's still today. So yeah, the impact, the cultural impact of The Simpsons is massive, and Dragon Ball too. Like if you are a fan of a soccer team in Chile, there's a lot of illegal merch with the characters of Dragon Ball wearing those shirts, like a ton. So it's very relevant. It's still very relevant.
Because my like whole experience with Spanish language stuff is more Mexico, like Lucha Libre stuff, or like El Santo, or like Blue Demon movies from the '60s and that kind of stuff. And I don't know how well that travels further south.
Honestly, well, WWE, I think now it's called like WE or something, but like at that time it was like WWE.
Yeah.
Was huge in Chile. Like once again because like they changed the narrators for two Mexican guys and they were really funny, and they this is like early thousands. It was massive. Everyone was talking about like the WWE. Every school in Chile were talking about The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, like Mike Foley. All that era was huge in South America. And another thing that happened is that it's weird because things from inside Latin America, they don't travel that well. Like TV shows from Chile don't travel that well to Mexico. Mexican shit stuff don't travel that well. But there's a few, like a group of ones that been like very massive in all over Latin America. One of them, El Chavo. That's like probably the number one because that show is so huge still today. HBO Max is doing a TV show. It's doing a series, like a drama series about the history of that TV show. Still, everyone is talking about it. There's so much gossip around it. And this TV show was, I don't know, not that many episodes, but it was so impactful for Latin America. And millions of people watch it. Like they did like 2 live shows in a national stadium here in Chile. They don't even have a show. They just like went and do two sketches in a national stadium. People were like, yeah.
It's like a sketch comedy show.
It was kind of like a weird sitcom because it was definitely like a sitcom in terms of like the camera shots, but it was all about this poor kid who lived inside a barrel in this poor neighborhood, and it's all the adventures that happen in this poor neighborhood of Mexico with all the other characters in this kind of like a small condo with many doors where like this, like they all live kind of like on top of each other, and they hate each other, and like these guys, like all the characters are very very like basic stereotypes. Like there's a guy who is like the rich kid, and he's a jerk with everyone, and thinks he owns everything. There's like this woman who hates kids, and she's just always angry, and but it works so well. I mean, still, once again, still today, massive, massive show. El Chavo del Ocho, that's the name of the show.
It's Chavo del Ocho. What era was that made?
I think it was the 70s.
Oh wow, so it's that old. Okay.
Yeah, that old and still huge.
What's the one with the insect guy that they make fun of on The Simpsons, but the red suited?
Yeah, that's one of the characters of the same guy. This is a that's el Chespirito.
Yes.
But yeah, this is some guy called Roberto Bolaño who created that character, another character, and yeah, it's all that culture. It's all that this. It's just insane that's still around. Another thing that it was kind of like a very important TV moment for us was Sábado Gigante.
Oh yeah, Sábado Gigante. I love.
Sábado Gigante it was a massive TV show in the U.S. and the host was Chilean. I mean, she's still around. He's still alive. He's like 89, and he was number one for decades in the Latino culture in the U.S.
Yeah, that show is Big Saturday, and it was like it was like 4 hours long or something every Saturday, and I guess it was a true variety show, but I would often tune in here and just have no friggin' idea what was going on. Like, there'd be like women in bikinis dancing. One time there was a little person churning butter. Like, there's like singing, like, it's just this chaos.
It was just like a Latino nightmare.
Yes.
It was like a Twin Peaks. It was like David Lynch directing Latino, like a Latino game show. Yeah, it once again, like the guy who hosted it here is like an institution. Everybody loves that guy because he's the only one who do the crossover, and that's insane. You know, like doing that is very difficult
to be known, yeah, throughout the entire continent and not just in Chile. If you started there, is like is kind of unique.
Doesn't happen very often. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often.
So let's dive in here. Saturday night, did you anything stand out to you that you would want to watch?
Well, on Saturday night, there's many cool articles in this one. I just by accident like there's like this article about Paul Simon. But Saturday night, where's which page are we talking about?
Would be on page 24 of the PDF.
24 of the PDF. Got it. 24 here. Saturday night. Well, there's Batman, and then back to back. And Tarzan in Manhattan. After that, I think I can. Yeah. Then you have Roxanne. Well, the other movies, the Josephine Baker Storm or something, not didn't age really well. The Naked Gun.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stay. Maybe I'm gonna stay in Batman and Superman back to back.
Were you a big comic book guy growing up?
Yeah. Well, wait. Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Pretty Woman? That's. I mean, it will be confusing for some kids, but they're really like there's a line there.
Yes.
If you see the character of Jessica Rabbit and then you stay to watch Pretty Woman, I think maybe that's the night that will change you became an adult that night. That's what I'm trying to say.
There's some mixed messages there. There's some odd guidance about how to be an adult in those two things.
And actually, if you stay later, and this is Showtime, if you stay later, this Sex, Lies, and Videotape happening like 10:30. So maybe that's the night that I need to grow up, you know.
When a boy becomes a man, it's Saturday night, 1991.
I think so. No, watching Showtime because you start with Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You know, it's a segue to adulthood. It makes kind of sense. You know, all your favorite characters.
It's the gateway drug into puberty.
Exactly. They're all your favorite characters are there having fun. And they saying goodbye to you, and then you stay there and you watch Pretty Woman.
Were you a big movie guy when you were growing up? Were you like renting movies and stuff?
Yeah. I was the kind of person who, I mean, all the blockbusters in Chile have different movies. Of course, they have like the new ones in every one of them, but there's many movies that you couldn't find in one, so you have to travel for hours to get to the other side of the city to really rent what you want. And I was doing that. Like I remember every weekend I was just like, okay, so this Al Pacino movie that is called, what's the name of this? Like, I don't know, Heat. Yeah,
Serpico? Oh, Heat. Yeah, Heat. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
only available in this I don't know, like the further like of your house. Okay, I'm going to take 3 buses to get there. And remember, like mapping my Saturdays with that idea. So yeah, I was into movies a lot.
What's the movie that it took you, was like the longest it took you to find, but was the most disappointing?
Oh, that's a great question. uh Oof. I mean, it's not a bad movie, but I was reading so much about it, and I was like, just it must be amazing. And I was like, yeah, okay. It was Barry Lyndon.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is a great movie,
Yeah.
but you know, also I really like no, and this was really bad. This was a really horrible movie. I figured out that there was a second part to 2001 Space Odyssey called 2010,
Oh,
The
2010.
Age We Made
Yes.
Contact, and as a kid, I was like, oh, if 2001 was so great, I'm sure the second part is gonna be even better. And it was so
It's 9 better.
yes, they had 9 years to develop it. So in my brain, I was so excited about it, and but I was like, why it's so hard to find? This movie was so successful, the first one. Why the second one is so hard to find? Yes, because it was a piece of trash.
Yeah, it was
And when I
garbage.
finally found it, I couldn't find it in a blockbuster. I found it like I don't know, like a 4 a.m. at HBO 4. Like that those kind of movies.
Yeah.
And it was so bad. It was all about like the peace between the USSR and the US, and satellite. It's just,
Yeah.
it was so bad. It was so bad.
So you're a Kubrick guy then. You're hunting down all the Kubrick
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, when I started watching movies, like, okay, who's the best one who ever make movies in the history of humankind? And so I started trying to watch all of them,
All the movies.
all
I want to see every single one.
all of them. I think I'm missing 2 or 3, and I'll be done with all the movies ever made.
Then you finish it. Are there any really great Chilean movies
Yeah,
that are available here?
yeah. I will recommend one called Machuca. It's a very, very interesting coming age story of a kid during the dictatorship years. It's really well done, like the how he grew up, and then the same thing. All these things are happening. How he's just a kid, like a poor kid, to get into this rich kid school, and I mean, it's very interesting. It's really well done. Machuca. Then another movie that I like a lot is one called La Nana, that is about a woman, like like a maiden, a nanny who is taking care of this house. But like the dynamics of nannies in Chile are very weird. They always have like this weird thing of kind of like barely slavery. They sleep in the house. They kind of part of the family, but they're not part of the family. So there's all these awkward moments of like, oh, okay, let's take a picture of the family, and she's not in the picture, but she have a closer relationship with the kids than the rest of the family. So the movie's about that dynamic inside of a house, and it's really well done. And a third movie that I will recommend from Chile, I will say it's a movie called El Club. That is a very dark movie, but I think it's really well done. It's about this. I mean, that happened a lot in our countries. Like when there's um, uh, some cases of pedophiles in Catholic schools, instead of taking those I mean, that happened a lot everywhere, but in here, instead of like taking them to jail, or they try to get them out of the church, what they did, it was like they create like a little house in the beach where they go to reflect about their sins, and instead of
Yeah.
using the justice system that we all have to go through, they have like their own thing of like, no, 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 we're gonna put this little house in the mountains. So they kind of create this refugee for all these pedophiles. And the movie's about one day that one of the kids was abused and is now an adult, and he kind of like go and every day it's outside of the house throwing rocks at them and getting like their attention. And it's how everything falls apart because of this guy decided just to stay in front of the fucking house and make a point. So yeah, it's a very, very good movie.
I will check that out. All sort of heavy stuff. So you're a drama guy as well.
Well, looks like,
Is that like your
now
favorite
now
genre?
now that we're talking, it looks like that's all. Like, yeah, I don't have any joy.
Me too. That's to be fair. It's difficult to get them these days. Are you So you're south of Ecuador, right? So you're south of the equator. You're in the southern hemisphere, literally.
Exactly. I mean, I think the next stop is Antarctica. If you go down here, you're gonna find penguins.
They don't have a lot of comedy shows there. I've tried to do tours there, and it's just really hard to get booked. There's like two guys.
It's open mics, but it's exactly like an open mic in LA or
There's
Boston.
nobody.
It's just no one is
You still
there.
have to buy a drink.
It's silence and it's very cold. It's very cold.
How hard was it for you to, because you obviously started doing broadcast stuff and on TV and stuff down in Chile and obviously Spanish language stuff. How hard was it for you to then do stuff in English?
Well, it was difficult because I didn't speak English when I moved to the US. I moved in 2015, and at the beginning, I went to a place called Los Angeles that I assumed because of that name there will be a lot of shows in Spanish.
Yeah.
There was none.
No.
And I started doing shows in English and push myself to do stand up in English, and the hardest part is you can translate your jokes, of course, and anyone can do that.
They don't quite translate.
But yeah, it's just your voice is the most difficult part of comedy, I think. And your voice is not 100% there because you feel like your brain can listen to your voice and be like, that's not me. So it's a weird process of finding your own rhythm, your own voice, your own timing. And now I feel very comfortable speaking in English and doing shows in English. I don't see the difference, but it took me a while.
But you would, like, the fact that this took you less than 10 years is like outrageously impressive. Like,
it's more than they took from 2001 to 2010, the year that we made contact. So
yes.
In that sense,
almost twice as much.
Yes, I did better.
Because like a friend of mine, comedian Joe Wong, who is from mainland China, and he started stand-up here when he was going to college, and he started stand-up in English. And then he went back to China and had to like completely figure out how to do stand-up in Mandarin. And it was like really, because jokes didn't translate.
And also, like, I mean, I can imagine that doing stand-up in China is like, cut this and just
yes.
cut, and I'm not going to mention this.
Yes.
It's not about translating. It's about like,
yep.
I'd rather not say that. Yeah, it must be very difficult. No, it's hard, but also, this is the thing. When it works, it feels like, man, I must be good at this. It's like, if I'm here, sometimes I'm doing shows in the US and I'm in, I don't know, Alabama. And I'm here in front of these people that have no connection in terms of lifestyle or like anything that happened during my childhood, such different places on earth, and still can make them laugh. I must be good at this.
Yeah.
So that's a good feeling.
Yeah, especially where it's, it's a word art. So if you have the grasp of it enough to actually mess with the form enough to make jokes that are connecting with those people, like there are people whose native language is English who can't do that. And I've done shows with them.
And they're part of my family.
Yes, they're right here, right now. Let's do Sunday night. What do you get on Sunday?
Okay, let's go for Sunday. That's Saturday.
Ice skating is huge that night for some reason. So there's the World Figure Skating Championships are on from Munich, Germany. And this was this weird blip in America and probably the world where sort of post-Winter Olympics 88, I think, for about 10 years, everyone was really into ice skating.
They didn't permeate the rest of the world. No one cared about that sport anywhere else. Well, in Canada, all those shitty countries, but like the real countries, we never watch any of those. Okay, let me see. So yeah, skiing, woman giant slalom, NCAA tournament preview. That's what we're talking about. Skiing,
no,
US men super pro.
This is actually a different winter sport. It's on page 34. It's the World Figure Skating Championships via satellite from Olympia Hall in Munich, Germany. It's the ladies' final drama on ice.
Wow! And now I want to watch it. This tiny woman.
It was like the ice dancing thing, where they're like, and for whatever weird reason, people just loved it. It's not that exciting.
that happened, no? Once in a while, people get excited about. I mean, it's like La Boo Boo, you know. Like we're not
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
remember La Boo Boo in a week. Uh, what about obstetrics gynecology update in the
Gynecology update.
Lifetime channel at 12:30?
So that is Lifetime
They have
was.
to do it on TV.
Yeah, that's how we do everything here. Lifetime was literally branded as television for women. And so they would have stuff like that
I
on
can
it.
tell.
Yeah, that was like, here's a talk show about menopause, and then here's like a very graphic doctor show about gynecology.
Wow, there was a gynecology update. Like, well, okay.
Is there a
Welcome
lot
to
of news in that
Freshman.
area that you need to give people an update? Breaking news.
I mean, and also like, is the update? It's more. It must be more personal. You know, it's not like an update on TV for everyone w's watching. You know,
They're
like,
just
okay,
doing
we're gonna talk about
specific people.
we're gonna talk about Karen Hernandez. Are you ready for this? Are you watching right now? We have some
Everyone
updates
else,
about your stuff.
leave the room.
Uh, okay, what else? What else we have that day? Double Trouble. I like that movie in the
That's the
USA
Dennis.
Channel.
Oh, Double Trouble,
Uh,
not the Dennis Rodman one. I was thinking of no, that's Double Team with Dennis Rodman and Jean-Claude Van Damme.
yeah, no, Double Trouble. I think it's like a Nickelodeon show. No, it's in USA Channel.
Oh, that's a sitcom from the mid '80s about twin sisters who live in New York called Double Trouble.
Oh, you're right. Now I remember. Yeah. Okay, there's a show here called Infectious Disease 91, and it's also Lifetime Channel.
Yeah.
I think must be connected to the gynecology update. Um, but yes, it's what infectious disease 91.
It's like
It's
SummerSlam
like it's all the
'91.
the ones. Yeah.
Yeah, for whatever weird reason, Lifetime on Sunday was like all the medical stuff. I don't know why.
Poor people, man. What are you doing on that Sunday watching that shit?
Come
Uh,
home from church and then watch the gynecology on Lifetime and then Infectious Disease 91.
well, I have to say, there's nothing for me on
Yeah.
that Sunday, my friend. I don't think they think about me and my coming of age
I noticed
moment.
that Comic Strip Live is on, which was one of our stand-up shows. Were there a lot of stand-up shows on when you were growing up?
I just watched the when I was a kid. They were like just these half hours in HBO,
Oh yeah.
um, but nothing local, not at all.
Is there was it like kind of a big stand-up scene down there at all?
No. Me and my friends we started the scene because there was no scene.
Yeah.
So we decided to go to a tango club, and this is all true. We went to like the second floor of a tango club, and that's when we started the first official stand-up comedy show in Chile. With two other friends who are still comics, and they do really well. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you're watching the HBO half hours in English, or were they like subtitled?
They have subtitles. I remember watching like Louis Black and
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Silverman, and but I remember the first special that changed my life was Delirious from Eddie Murphy. That I mean, the outfit was like, what is this? You know, because in Chile we used to have like joke tellers, and they dressed like, I mean, they're working as an accountant and tell
Right.
jokes. Like not even like they wrote like jokes are like available in the zeitgeist. But this was the first time I seen like first an author and second like Prince. It was a like a rock star. And yeah, that was so unique. And I never seen anything like that again in terms of like the style.
He's got Michael Jackson leather. Yeah, I mean that was sort of unique here at the time. There was a few people that they were like, it's a rock star comedian, and it was like him and like Andrew Dice Clay, who was doing like arenas in his leather jacket. It was awful. But Eddie Murphy really,
Yeah.
that no one had really done that. Richard Pryor kind of came close, but Eddie Murphy really like embraced the like the fame showmanship thing of it. Which makes sense because he put an album out, a music album that same year.
I mean, he was Prince. In my brain was like, what is Prince doing stand up? It's exactly that.
Everyone I've talked to who knew Prince said he was really funny. So maybe we would have got a good Prince comedy special if he if he ever decided to have done that.
Yeah, probably. You're right. Okay, so my Sunday is empty. I don't know what to do.
It's all right. We'll move on to Monday.
Okay, let's move. What Indiana Jones, The Temple of Doom,
Yep.
Daughters of Privilege.
Yeah, it's a made-for-TV
Oh,
movie, like a telenovela kind of thing, with Dick Van Dyke. They'll do anything to get Daddy's attention, Daddy's power, and Daddy's money. There are very few things in life I find creepier than people calling their father Daddy.
it's ruined. You can't say daddy anymore. It's gone.
It's never not creepy. I don't think it was ever not make everyone uncomfortable.
Well, now the people like they make people call Trump daddy or Trump calls him like himself daddy.
That's-
Like I don't know. There was like
yeah,
a thing
that's
that
the
he went to
people.
like the European Union.
Ugh. He was like, hey, yeah, when they're like, daddy something, I'm like, you people need to go to therapy. Like, you have a problem. That's not a normal thing to think or say out loud. You shouldn't want other people to know that you think
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, just say. I mean, don't just. I mean, this is the thing. Just watch the gynecology update and shut up. You know, like just
Keep it to yourself.
don't get out of your house.
Is your wife
Yeah.
from Texas, I think you said?
Yeah, my wife is from Laredo.
So are there any shows that like she grew up with that she's like, you got to see this that you'd never heard of, or like stuff that, you know, you are like, I can't believe not everyone knows this thing?
I mean, I remember there was a lot of shows from Nickelodeon that over there were not a big hit. I remember like they were in rotation, but they never took off, and it was like all that
Yeah.
or the game show. The ones with humans mostly,
Yeah.
like the ones were not cartoons. And she was a fan of Clarissa.
Oh yes. Clarissa explains it all.
Explain it all.
Yep.
Explains it all. And yeah, there was not that big there, but like it was actually people watch more the other one, when she was a witch.
Oh, Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yes, exactly. What else she showed me of like her childhood TV that I was impressed. Well, I think like yeah, mostly like that Nickelodeon era of humans and like kids doing sketches and things like that that we never saw over there because kids shouldn't be working.
That's right. They have to go to the fields. There's stuff that needs mining. So I mentioned stuff like Rugrats or like Ren and Stimpy or like Doug or Rocco, that the cartoon stuff is easy to redub and just throw on TV anywhere.
Yes, that's no, yeah, that's always a hit everywhere they put the shows. Rocco, I remember, was huge, and yeah, all the other ones you mentioned, everyone watched them.
Have you showed your kid anything from when you guys were growing up to see like some reaction? And
Let me think. I tried with something once, but I think now when I watch them, I feel like they're very slow.
yeah,
I don't know if that happened to you, but like feels all the cartoons now they're so schizophrenic that everything. I tried with the Lion King. That's what I did. I tried to show him the Lion King, and for him it was like a movie in slow mo.
yeah,
It was impossible for him to watch the entire thing because it's a drama. It's there's
Yeah.
scenes like take time and people show feelings and stuff. And now movies are just like screaming at your face for the entire movie. So yeah, I think it's not doesn't translate to the next generation probably.
and he hated Barry Lyndon.
Oh yeah, I mean, but he was a huge fan of 2010, the age we made contact.
He
For
thinks
weird
it's a
reason
better
that I
movie,
can't
and you know,
understand.
once he turned 5, you were like, all right, fine, I'll watch Clockwork Orange with you, because all kids love that. Yeah, Monday there's not a ton on either. There's an after school special here, which were like our teen drama things, and this one's called Frog Girl, and it's based on a true story about this girl who didn't want to dissect a frog in school. Which, did you have to do that in school?
No. We don't have to dissect anything.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why they still do it here, but yeah, she didn't want to dissect the frog, and it was like a big legal case and whatever. So this is like a dramatization of her fight to not have to dissect a frog, which is why
Oh
it's
my
called
God.
Frog Girl.
And this thing went all the way to the Supreme Court or something?
I think it went to the state Supreme Court where she was in, yeah, and she won. It didn't have to dissect a frog. It was horrific. I hated doing it. You had to like take their parts out and like tape them to a piece of paper and like label them. It was awful.
Well, sounds like a horrible way of learning about the composition. Oprah Winfrey
Yep.
at 4. What channel was Oprah Winfrey at the time?
She was syndicated, so she'd be on different channels in different cities. I think this is a Kansas City edition.
Yeah, it's right after DuckTales, Mr. Rogers,
Did Oprah get down there? Talk
and then
shows?
Oprah. No, Oprah was
Yep.
not was
Oh
not
God!
famous here.
Phil
No.
Donahue was on Monday, and just scrolling, I noticed this. It says Phil Donahue, 60 Minutes, scheduled topic, incest. Who's gonna be like,
Wow.
oh, I'm
So
gonna
he's
make
still
my
talking
way?
about the same stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Were there any big daytime talk shows down there? Like, did they have like those sort of Jerry Springer type, like sleazy
Okay,
talk shows?
they try, and there's one that is huge it's it's in Miami actually. It's called Doctor Apollo. That's the biggest one for Latin America, and they of course syndicate it everywhere. But Doctor Apollo, that's the real deal. And she's like, "Don't talk to me in English. Talk to me in Spanish." And she gets angry about people talk to her in English. It's great. You should watch it.
Dr. Apollo.
Doctora, like it's like a female name of doctor.
Oh, okay.
Polo.
Polo, like chicken? Like pollo?
I mean, we'll say pollo. But this is Polo. I don't know. This is not a normal name. There's no one else have that name. Just her.
I want to see this Spanish language talk show, Dr. Chicken.
Divorce Court.
Yes, very
okay.
weird show. Divorce Court at this time, there's a there's been new versions of Divorce Court, which are like Judge Judy kind of thing. But this version of Divorce Court, they used to get transcripts from actual divorce cases in courts and then have actors reenact them. And it's so
And
bad.
of course, I mean, of course, culture is in the toilet. If these people who watch all of and create all of this, now they're in like their 60s, 70s.
Yeah, maybe more, yeah.
They're running the world right now.
Where's the good shows like reenacting divorce court transcripts with,
What happened?
with poor actors?
What happened? What happened with Phil Donahue? Scheduled topic incest.
We used to be a proper country.
Okay, what is Joe? MTV Rap.
Oh yeah, Yo MTV Raps was huge. It had just started. And then America's Funniest Home Videos was huge.
The American Home Videos, we have a version of that called Video Loco.
Crazy Videos?
Not a great.
But MTV was huge there because one of the first gigs you got was working for MTV in Latin America, right?
Yeah, MTV was huge. I think that MTV is one of those brands that I think young people can't even believe how important it was. You know, it's like
Yeah.
one of the things like you don't know, but this was like YouTube and TikTok and I don't know, anything that you can think is cool now, or Instagram, whatever you like, everything with just one channel. And it was music, it was Spotify, it was everything. And now it's nothing. Now no one cares about MTV.
It really it was like growing up. I feel like everyone I know had like a home base channel, like the channel they would automatically just turn on when the TV turned on, and that would be like what they'd go back to if not. And it was almost always MTV. You'd like just flip around that.
Exactly. You always go back to MTV to see what was going on. But those days are gone, my friend.
What was the first thing you did that like your parents saw you on TV wise that was like impressive to them? But they were like, oh, okay, he's really doing it.
That I did?
Yeah. Well, because your brother is a broadcaster as well, right? Your brother hosted a show or hosts a show.
My brother's a journalist. Yeah, my brother's a journalist. And we started kind of at the same time. And I think the first thing that we did that was kind of impressive, we have a cable show together. And it was called Canal Copano. That's my last name, Copano. And it was me and my brother. I was in school. I mean, I was 16, 17. And it was a show that we watched videos. We just watched videos on an early YouTube, not even on YouTube, like old video clips from the 70s, 80s, like abandoned clips from whatever. and we comment on top of that. The most basic stuff, very cheap to produce, whatever, and became such a hit that year, 2006, Canal Copano was the biggest, the most searched word in Chile and on Google. The number one Google search of that year was Canal Copano, and I think that was like our first, like, wow, this is a thing. There's something going on here.
And you're getting recognized and stuff, I imagine, like when you're going out and that kind of thing.
Yeah. We started. I mean, it was great because it was like a gradual fame. It was like cable fame, and then broadcast TV fame, and then I don't know, like more massive stuff fame, and then movie, But it was not like overnight. So yeah, it was a good fun way to be famous, but not be like overwhelmingly famous.
Right, because then you moved to the States and it's like you got to start all over again, basically, which must be strange.
Exactly, and fun, and
You're like, I had a movie and it.
yeah, but it feels good to. But what I was just saying, like just going to a random place and be able to make a show and make it work, it feels as important in a weird way because it's like, yeah, and also like I don't know, I like parts of the thing, but also like it's very annoying when you have kids and family, and it's so nice to be in New York and no one cares about you. It's just the best place on earth.
Yeah, I mean, that's true of even very famous people in the States. New York doesn't care about them. That's unique.
They don't
to
even
New
make eye
York.
contact. Yes, that's what I love about New York, and
No.
that's the reason why. I mean, I remember like John Lennon say that, like it's like I can be in New York, no one cares. Someone can shoot me, and no one will care, and that's exactly what happened.
No one cares. Die right in the street.
No one fucking cares.
Are your parents like performery at all, or was it a surprise
No,
that you
not at
guys
all.
both were?
No. My dad was an architect, and my mom was a mom. She was always with us. But no, we never had anyone in the family who was like related to this. I think it was just like a mix between like the explosion of the internet that we just have. I don't know, like more information than anyone else, and we got lucky. I feel like that's very important to accept. Like we just did something that we thought, well, okay, well, let's see what happened, and it worked. And yeah, we still have jobs, and I can do things in the U.S. now that it's a lot of fun too, and it's new and exciting, and yeah, I just keep building cool stuff and try to see what happens next.
That's so interesting to me when you have people who are, like a huge star in another country, and then you have to like kind of rebuild it somewhere else because it's, it is like starting from the ground up, sort of. I mean, the skill set's the same, but you're you still got to rebuild it.
And you have in case of emergency, you have where to go. Like at least
Right,
sometimes I
right.
feel very. I'm with my friends for other comics who, of course, they want to have success. Of course, they want to like I don't know, feel how it feels to being able to fill out an arena or doing a big show or having people asking for their pictures. And I understand that feeling, and I got the feeling too sometimes. Like, oh man, I need to record it in the US, and then oh, but I done that. I know how it feels. Like at least I have that.
Yeah.
I did it. So that makes me feel like okay, at least I have one issue that I check. But
Yeah.
but it's fun to just keep exploring what's next.
When I was doing stand up in the UK, there were comics there who like have their own TV show in England, and they're like doing really well. They're doing comedy for them. They're like, oh, I gotta go over to the States, and I'm like, maybe not. Maybe stay here where you're doing well,
That's
and you have a TV show because
There's something about like I mean for me I started really early in life. So when I was 25, I was able to be like, okay, I have some savings, I have a career. I was single at the time. I was like, I can move to another country and see how it goes. And then I see a lot of friends who like try later in life, and I'm like, why? You have everything here. You just want to prove a point. But also I understand that feeling of like, okay, this is like you want to play in the NBA. If you're a basketball
yeah,
player, you want to play. I mean, you want to be in the streets of New York and see be at the cellar and be, that's what you want. So yeah, I understand both sides of that argument.
it makes sense. I would not be able to move to Chile and get a career. I know that for a fact. I will not attempt it.
No, it's very hard because we don't want Americans anymore. Now that you guys are
Yeah.
doing one Latinos, we decided to build a wall, the opposite side. No one is trying to cross it, but we just build it.
You just have it anyway. I was like when I first started in England, the Iraq War had first started. So like I couldn't even get introduced as American. I had to be introduced as Canadian because I would just get like booed.
Really?
So it's not.
Well,
It's
probably
not
it's happening now again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Rightfully so. It's not a benefit for us to to try and go other places. People aren't happy
Yeah.
to see us.
I became a citizen
Which, you know.
of the U.S.
Oh.
Maybe a month ago, and I have to say, it feels like
Congratulations. I think.
thank you. It feels like buying a Tesla, like something that had a lot of value a couple years ago, but something happened, and now it's not doesn't feel the same. But
I
yeah,
started this
let's see.
process before.
I have to put these people who have to put like like a sticker in their cars so they don't burn
Yeah.
it.
I bought
I
this
have to wear
before.
shirts.
Yeah. I signed up for this
But
way
yeah.
before it got really bad. One thing was there on Tuesday night, they're showing The Wizard of Oz, which was like for years here was every year, even though it's a movie from 1939, showing it on TV was always like a huge deal here.
Really?
For whatever weird reason. They're like, it's The Wizard of Oz, and it would be on every year, and it was a big deal. Until fairly recently, like really in like the DVD age, it kind of stopped. But for decades, and I don't know why, but was there like a movie that was like a tradition that aired every year when you were growing up, like maybe around the holidays or something?
Yeah. It's called Jesus de Nazaret, but it's a movie about Jesus Christ. Let me see the name in English.
Oh, Jesus of Nazareth.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, that was the thing that, the ratings went up, and in the same movie over and over again, no one cared. People just rewatch it, and also Titanic, James Cameron, Titanic, and
Similar
actually,
stories.
they're both like epic dramas. And and I remember like in one year, they showed in two parts. It was such a hit that they're like first part, I don't know, Thursday, second part Friday. So you have to wait 24 hours to know what happened to that boat.
We can't give it to you all at once; it'd be too dangerous. You need a day to cool off. Then
You need a
can
day
rewatch the
to take a
rest.
walk, see your friends,
Yeah.
think about your life, and then rewire into this thing.
We don't want anyone getting injured. Let's see, Wednesday or anything else in here when you flip through on any of the days that really jumped out to you that were interesting or strange?
I mean, I think the ads are the thing that caught my attention more than all this, like the Josephine Baker story,
Oh yeah,
yearbook, the AT&T ad.
Yearbook was a reality show where they followed these high school kids around for a year and then aired it. And sometimes they would like air an episode like a week after they shot it. So it was like pretty contemporary. I can't even imagine how horrific it would be to be in high school and have them airing your day to day. Like that's
No,
a
what a
nightmare.
nightmare. Yeah. And also like in a time when people, that's now life. That's now called being on the
Yeah.
internet. Um,
But since everybody does it now, it's not as bad. Like at this time, like people are going to see it.
You're right. People will remember your face. Yeah, the television crossword also. I love the shape of it. I was like, wow. I was like, there's a phone number you can call. Phone number.
Yeah, for
answers?
for hints. If you get stumped, yeah, and it costs $1 a minute.
Oh my god.
So there are people who are like, I got to get this TV guide crossword. I don't care how much it costs. I want to finish it.
It's like, what about our education? What about our college savings? Fuck it. We need to figure out this crossword. I love it. I love it.
Dad, I need new shoes. I don't care. What's 41 across?
I truly.
Yeah,
I
there's a
truly love
ton of
this thing.
cigarette ads in here.
Yeah, also.
That's the weird thing is the cigarette ads.
Yeah, I have to say I love also like something I love about this magazine in general is how it started with colors and then it goes black and white because because the TV guide start like, okay, here's a magazine and now this is a phone guide. Like it's just trashy
Yeah.
paper, whatever. Just like who cares? This is everyone's gonna forget. Everyone's gonna forget this information that is here till the end.
I bought a magazine and it turned into a newspaper. It was wrapped up. This is deceptive.
The first 4 pages have ink. The rest is just like someone writing with his hands. The rest of the stuff. So yeah, it's trash.
Are there any comfort shows you watch now, like stuff from growing up, or like do you have any like shows you watch before you go to bed or anything like that?
Well, I used to watch a lot of Seinfeld episodes, and now I think I replace them for Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes, like old ones.
It's a better show. I think it's a better show.
Yeah, and it's they age really well also. Like the early episodes. So yeah, I think that's my thing.
Bobcat Goldthwait had Jerry Seinfeld hates Bobcat Goldthwait for a variety of reasons, and Bobcat's the best. But Bobcat pointed out, he goes, the best thing Jerry Seinfeld ever did was be friends with Larry David. And he goes, because after Seinfeld, Larry David goes on to do Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Seinfeld goes on to do Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. He's like, who was really the talent there?
Well,
and it's like, it's pretty undeniable.
The B movie is there. It's the B movie there. So I mean,
that's true. That's true.
Open for
but then
debate.
He also made that terrible Pop-Tarts movie last year. So,
oh my god, I forget
that's
about
a classic example of someone who never hears no. When everyone's like, no, it's great.
Oh my god!
And then you come out with that.
The high pitch.
Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. And this is, you hold the record for the southernmost guest on the show, I think.
Great.
So there's always that. And and I'll put links to the specials and all that stuff there so people can check out your stuff. And it was great meeting you and great talking to you.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate that.
I know I completely slaughtered Fabrizio's name, by the way. My Spanish pronunciation is almost as bad as my English pronunciation, and I am from Boston, so that really tells you where the bar is at for that. But what an awesome guy. Super funny. Check him out. He's done stand-up on TV, and he just does a lot of cool stuff. I put links to all his stuff in the show description here. Next week is Halloween week, so this has been a difficult year, I think, for everybody. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. If this has not been a difficult year for you, congratulations. I'm genuinely happy for it, even though I don't sound like it. This is sort of the one time of year that I've sort of been able to unplug a little bit. So let me know what you're doing for Halloween, what you've been watching, that kind of stuff. It's nice and cold and rainy here in New England, which is ideal, for me at least, to be under a blanket and watch some spooky stuff and some comfort shows and have a cup of tea and all that kind of stuff. I will have a special Halloween edition next week. It will be special, not as elaborate, shall we say, as some of the ones in the past. And sadly, not Lamont Price will not be rejoining us this week. But I need to have Lamont on this year. It's been too long. And you guys demand it. And I miss Lamont. I love Lamont. He's a good dude. But you can also go back and listen to all the old TV Guidance Counselor Halloween episodes, like as a marathon before this episode's out next week. You could do that. Like my episodes come out at like 12:05 a.m. East Coast time on Mondays. So, I don't know the hours, but like Sunday afternoon, you can just start listening. And then when you don't have to do that. Just be here next week. That's all I ask for a brand new edition of TV Guidance Counselor.
I mean, the whole thing is kind of like sexual and turtles, and it's pretty strange.